Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today for our college visit series. And today we have a special workshop from Bryant Stratton College called Life After High School. And we have Mr. Charles Wesley here to share information with us today about achieving goals for your future. So I'm going to hand this right over to him. Thank you so much for joining us today.
No problem. Thank you for having me, Miss Corbin and team. So wonderful. So happy Tuesday. Hope everybody, when you're seeing this, you're having a great day. On today is kind of wet outside, but today I really want to take a few minutes to speak to you about life after high school, right? Your goals, your dreams, and how do you achieve them? As Ms. Corbin said, my name is Mr. Wesley. I am one of the admissions advisors here at Bryant Stratton College. So one of my jobs is to transition students from high school into college. So that's helping them figure out what they want to major in, what career they may want to have if they don't know. I sit down with them and I work that out with them based off their interest and future career goals and aspirations. So today, I'll want to help you all figure out what your dreams are and what your goals are, how they're different, and how they relate. So I want to take a quick minute to have you grab a piece of paper and a pencil or pen, something to write with. Because as you go through, I want you to take some notes and I want you to write some things down because I'm going to give you some great information and I want you to be able to refer back to it when you need to set these goals to get through your next year of high school or virtual school, or for my seniors, those who are already ready to graduate and go to college. All right. So first, what dreams do you have, right? So everybody has dreams. I don't care how old you are, I don't care how young you are, everybody has a dream, right? But before we get into what dreams you have, I want to focus on a quick minute on what dreams are. So we aren't talking like the dreams you have when you sleep, of course, when you wake up in the morning. We aren't talking about nightmares. We're simply talking about dreams in the sense of those things that you are going to work towards throughout your entire life. And of course, as you go on, your dreams change from day to day sometimes, from year to year, from season to season. But for the purpose of what we're going to discuss today, I want you to know the real definition of dreams. Okay. So your dream is going to be a strongly desired goal or something you're working towards, a purpose. Okay. So your dream is going to be a strongly desired goal or purpose. Okay. So I want you to take a minute to take that sheet of paper and writing utensil that you have, and I want you to write down a dream of yours. Right? What is one of your dreams? And again, your dream is going to be something that you strongly desire, something that you really, really want. Okay, a goal, a purpose, but we're talking about a super large goal, right? What's your dream? Okay, so write down what your dream is. All right. So everybody knows what a dream is. You know what your own individual dream is. But now I want to talk to you about your goals, right? So again, a goal is something that we've all heard, we've all used. We know what it is without really knowing what it is, right? For the purpose of this, a goal is the end towards which effort is directed. Okay? So I'm going to say that one more time. A goal is the end towards which effort is directed. Okay. Now, a lot of times we use goals and dreams synonymously, right? We use them for the same thing, right? Hey, my goal is this, my dream is this. And a lot of times we use them to mean the exact same thing. But I want you to take a minute and change the way you view both goals and dreams. Because the way we view them, we view goals as steps to your dreams. So a good way to look at it would be if your big dream, that's your destination, right? And your goals would be the car that gets you there. Okay. So again, your dream is going to be your destination, and your goal is going to be the car that gets you there. Okay. Just like you see right here on the screen, what goals will get you there? What goals will get you to your dreams? That's what we're going to focus on today. Now, what are some of the benefits of actually setting goals? So normally I'd ask you guys to throw out answers, but I know we're recording this, so I'll just have to come out and right and tell you. So your goals will do a lot of things for you. As you can see, they're personal achievements, meaning as you go along and you accomplish these goals, those are the small rewards that you give yourself. Goals help you focus. And because you can focus on something, an individual task, you tend to do better. You tend to perform better, whether it's on a test, whether it's on some type of athletic activity, you're playing a game. Heck, even if you are focused on achieving some type of goal on some type of goal on a system, on a game system, right? It gives you a level of concentration. Having and completing goals also gives you a boost of confidence. How many of you have had a time or a moment where you've completed something, a task or a job that you didn't think you could or that you found difficult? But once it's done, you feel great about yourself because you were able to knock it out. And of course, with that level of confidence also comes a level of happiness because now you have more confidence to do more and more things. You're feeling good, you're making yourself happy. And with all that being said, it also leads to less and less anxiety and depression. And who doesn't want less anxiety and less depression during a pandemic, right? So normally we talk about long-term goals and short-term goals. Okay. But remember, I said before, we're going to look at goals and dreams a little differently. We're going to look at goals as a vehicle to get you to your dreams. So we're also going to look at long-term dreams and short-term dreams. Okay. So we all know what short-term goals are, right? These are goals that you need to accomplish sooner than later. And as I like to say, short-term goals go with short-term dreams. Long-term goals go with long-term dreams. Okay. But as you see, short-term goals will be something that you need to get done sooner than later. So for you all watching this, a short-term dream might be to complete the next 9 weeks, or maybe to complete this year of high school. Okay. That's your dream. Your goals, as we discussed before, will be the way to get there. So your goals, your short-term goals, excuse me, will be the things that you do in the meantime to get you closer and closer to your dreams. So in this case, if it's to get through this next 9 weeks, or the school year, it might mean acing your tests. It might mean completing your homework. It might mean showing up to class, to virtual class every day, making yourself motivated to actually get up and log in. Okay. But as you go through, you're always going to adjust what those short-term dreams are, because those short-term dreams will lead to your long-term dreams. Okay. So your long-term goals, right? Again, long-term goals for long-term dreams. Okay. So, of course, your long-term goals will meet those major targets in life. Okay. So, although this is way, way in advance, one of your long-term dreams in this case might be to graduate from college. It might be to own your own house one day. It might be to open your own business. Okay. Those are your dreams, right? Graduate from college, buy a house, open a business. Okay. And remember, your goals are the vehicle or the steps to get there. So long-term goals for long-term dreams. So let's say, for example, your long-term goal, one of them is to get a house. Dream, excuse me, is to get a house. Wonderful, great. So maybe one of your goals beforehand might be to get an apartment, right? Or it might be to get a smaller house or to rent a house. And all this is building up until you're able to accomplish that long-term dream of yours. Again, long-term goals for long-term dreams. Okay. And with that being said, it could be anything that you want. All right. It could be, like we discussed before, it could be college, it could be a house, it could be business, it could be travel. But there are things that you are going to have to take time to accomplish as you go through. Now, when you're talking about goals, right? And we've been discussing how goals actually lead to your dreams. Then we're going to use this as a vehicle, something that you're going to use as you get older and as you enter into the corporate world will be the term SMART goals. Okay? SMART goals is basically a fancy way of a fancy way that businesses use to help break down something they're working towards, sometimes in the immediate time frame, that short term, sometimes it's in that long term. Okay? It's broken down into 5 parts: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time based. Okay? What we're going to do is we're going to take a minute to break down each individual one so you have a clear understanding of how SMART goals are beneficial and how you can use them, and not only to make it through high school, but to use them beyond when you're in college, when you're in your career, or if you decide to open your own business or whatever you choose to do. Now, that first S in SMART goals stands for specific, okay? I want you to state exactly what you want to accomplish, okay? Now, if you're like me, I'm somebody who likes to use examples, right? So for this, let's say your immediate dream, right, is going to be to ace a 9 weeks test you have coming up. All right. Boom. You got to knock out this 9 weeks test. That's going to be your specific task that you're going to accomplish. Okay. Now, measurable, right? So you want to study because you want to pass this test. Okay. So you need to figure out what those smaller goals are to get you there, right? So in this case, if the ultimate goal, or the ultimate dream, excuse me, is to ace that 9 weeks test, then you need to figure out what those smaller steps are to get you there. So ideally, it may be to study. How are you going to study? Is you going to study a lot? You're going to study a little bit? Do you need to study at all? So now we're going to measure that. Okay. So smaller goals in between. Are you studying every day, a couple hours every day? How are you going to get that done? That's the M. Okay. S, M. Okay. Measurable. Now we're going to talk about the A, right? The achievable part. Make your goal reasonable. And here's what we mean by reasonable. One of the biggest dream killers, right, is when a person's dreams, right, are a little bit too big for them to grasp. That's why your SMART goals are going to break your dream down into smaller components. So each part of your dream is achievable. Okay. So in this case, again, we're studying for your test. Okay. You're going to measure it. You're going to break it down to smaller parts by studying a little each day. Okay. But now we want to focus on how you study. Is it achievable that you can study every single day leading up to your test? And let's say you have to work on Tuesdays and Thursdays after school. So in that case, it's not achievable for you to study every single day. You may have to study on Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays. Okay. So are your smaller goals achievable? Okay. Are. Now, realistic. Okay. This is super important. This goes hand in hand with how achievable your large goal and your smaller goals are. Okay. Is it realistic that you're going to be able to study, in this example, on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays if you're working Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? Let's say yes, it is realistic. Great. How realistic is it that you're going to study for 3 hours each night? Probably not, right? So now part of your SMART goal process is to figure out what real amount of time is it going to take you to study each night. You have the time to focus so you can pass your 9 weeks test. And lastly, we're talking timely, okay? Because you and I both know If you have a deadline, you're going to move a lot quicker than without. Imagine the same example. You have a 9-week test to study for, and your teacher tells you on the first day of the first 9 weeks, you have a test at the end of this term. You can study as much as you'd like. All the notes are already on Schoology. All everything is online. All you have to do is pass the test and you pass the class. If the teacher doesn't hold you accountable, then like me, you're probably to the very last minute to try to cram everything in and pass the test, which we know is not going to be great for getting a great it's not going to be great for getting a good grade. Okay, that's why your teacher incorporates things along the way. So other smaller tests and quizzes and homeworks and checkpoints to make sure that you know. The same concept for your SMART goal. You have to hold yourself accountable to a certain time frame. So if you know you have to take this test on a Monday and pass it, you know you're working Tuesdays and Thursdays, so you can't study then. So you have off that Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then you need to give yourself an appropriate amount of time, a realistic amount of time to study and dedicate yourself so you can knock out your dream of passing your 9 weeks test. Okay. Again, this is how your goals are steps towards your dream. Okay. This is how your SMART goals or creating a SMART goal is going to help you accomplish those really large tasks that you may find a little daunting. Okay. So now that we've broken down your SMART goals, okay, I want to help you figure out how we can begin that process so you can actually write them down and bring everything into reality. Okay. The first step to any goal, any dream is going to be to write it down. Okay. And remember, the S is going to be for specific, as you see right here. You're going to write down your goals. Okay. Write down your goals, write down your dreams first, and write down the goals that help you get there. So that piece of paper and pen that I told you to grab earlier, take a minute and write something else down. I had you write down your dream earlier. So I want you to take a minute to write down what goals do you think will help yourself get there. And if you need help, at the end of this presentation, you'll have my information so you can reach out to me directly. Okay. 2, you're going to develop a plan of action. Okay. So your dreams, your goals to help you get there, that's great, right? That's amazing. Knock it out. But you also have to figure out a way to make those goals, those small checkpoints along the way. How are you going to make them reasonable? Okay. So what's your plan of action? If it's studying, how do you plan to study? Okay. If one of your long-term dreams is to graduate from college, well, what are you doing to get into college first? If one of your long-term dreams is to own a house, great. What are you doing to put yourself in a position to be able to get a house? If one of your long-term dreams is to travel to all 50 states, great. What are you doing? What steps are you taking or do you plan on taking to make that realistic for you? Okay. What small goals are you going to accomplish along the way to accomplish those big dreams? Okay. And more importantly, what time frame are you assigning yourself? And please note that every person's time frame is different. Just because someone else does one in their time doesn't mean you have to do it in theirs, right? Everybody has their own speed and their own focus. So when you develop your plan of action, you're doing this just for you, okay? No one else. Now, this is super important, right? You always want to evaluate your progress. So part of you checking along the way is to give yourself checkpoints, okay? Like I said before, everyone does things at their own speed. So once you figure out what your speed is, you're going to build checkpoints along the way to make sure you're on the right path. So case in point, right? I'm a dad and I help my daughter play soccer. So she wanted to get better at soccer. So along the way of her soccer journey, we had little checkpoints to make sure she could handle some of those basic skills she needed to be a better soccer player. Okay. So could she pass the ball in a straight line? Yes, she could. Check. Did she know how to pass the ball while running? Check. Was she able to dribble the ball without constantly looking down? Took a long time, but she got it. Check, right? And this is all on her way to becoming a better soccer player. So we built checkpoints along the way to make sure that she was ready. The same thing for you when it comes to your goals. You want to build checkpoints along the way, just a little to do a temperature check to make sure you're still on that right track. And sometimes that even means getting help from somebody who's outside of you. That's what you have friends for. That's what you have family for. That's what you have mentors for, right? Sometimes that evaluation comes from sources outside. I have quite a few mentors, and every once in a while we do a check-in. How are things going? What do I need? Do I need any help? What kind of help do I need? What resources do I need access to, right? So if you can't check yourself, then that's fine. But I want you to find somebody else to help you, and they can check in with you and evaluate your progress. And lastly, I want you to reward yourself. Okay. And here's why. We discussed before the benefits of goal setting. We discussed before how when you set your goals that lead to your dreams and how you accomplish them, it does things like reducing depression and reducing anxiety. And it makes you feel better because you're able to accomplish these small tasks along the way. You have to reward yourself. The same thing when you're doing anything else. You're going to have to give yourself time to celebrate and realize that you've come a long way, right? Whether it's one step, two steps, or three, then you want to make sure you have time to reward yourself. Again, it can be something as small as saying, "Hey, I've accomplished this. I want to treat myself to, a milkshake, right? Or I'm going to treat myself to something off Amazon or a game." It could be small material things. It could be things that are larger. Maybe you rewarding yourself is you accomplishing those goals, right? So let's say you do want to get, let's say, a brand new, by this time you guys are out of high school, out of college. Let's say you want a brand new 2026 Ferrari, right? So maybe that's your dream. So for you to to reward yourself along the line, it may be to get cars that are leading up to it, right? So how are you accomplishing? How are you recognizing your own success along the way? Okay. Now, we've discussed dreams. We've discussed how goals lead to your dreams, right? It's the vehicle to get you there, which is amazing. We've discussed your SMART goals that helps you break things down. Okay. Your SMART goals meaning specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. We've discussed how you write those goals down, right? How those goals lead to your dreams, how you write them down to make them real for you. Now, I want you to take all of that. I hope you've been writing it down on that pen and pad that I asked you to get earlier. And I want you to start making those dreams a reality. Okay. Whether it's small or large, just make them a reality. One of the biggest pieces of information I give to my students is sometimes if these big tasks seem way too large for you, I've had some students who really find graduating from high school a struggle. And I get it. It happens. So if you find graduating high school a struggle, then don't think about graduating high school in the immediate. Think about getting through your next quiz. Think about getting through that next test. Think about getting through that next 9 weeks and then that next semester and then the year. So same thing for you guys and girls when you're listening to this. If that big goal seems, that big dream is way too big, break it down into smaller points so you can achieve it. Okay. And as they say, Focus on one course until something happens, right? Kind of like push to pray until something happens. So when in doubt, just focus one step at a time, knock out your goals. And as you knock out your goals, you're closer to your dreams. Knock out your short-term dreams first, then you work on your long-term goals to get to your long-term dreams. And I promise you, you will get where you need to go. So again, my name is Mr. Wesley. I'm one of the admissions advisors for Bryant Stratton College just for high school. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me. You see my name and my email address and my phone number right here on the screen. I also have a survey for you guys to fill out to let me know what you thought about this presentation. Okay, you can use your phone to scan the QR code, take you to a form on our website. Let me know who you are and what you thought about it, right? Let me know how I can help you with college or anything else, college, career, even figuring out what your individual goals and dreams are. But I am here to help. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure speaking with you all today. Thank you to Ms. Corbin, Ms. Edwards for inviting me to speak to your students. And I look forward to seeing you all in person once the world opens. And I will talk to you all next week. Thank you so